Okay, so yesterday we kind of introed car insurance. We talked about all the different types of car insurance as well in our key terms back here. So in these lessons, what you're going to be asked two questions, or we're going to ask one or the other, I should say. Either they will ask, how much do you have to pay, you being the person in the question, or how much does the car insurance have to pay when you cause an accident or when you get into an accident. So this is these are difficult questions because you just have to understand how it works. There's nothing on the formula sheet for this. You just have to know who pays what based on the vocabulary, and again, just how that works in general. So let's go ahead and read this first one. The Stanton Mill has $25,000 worth of property damage liability insurance. So to start off with, they will tell you what type of insurance they have. This phrasing right here, $25,000 worth of insurance, what this means is this is the maximum the insurance company will pay. I'm going to put INS for insurance company. I'm just lazy. Company will pay. When we say worth of insurance, max the insurance company will pay. That's the most they will pay for an accident. Anything outside of that, you're going to have to pay yourself. So let's go ahead and keep reading. He caused an accident that damaged a $2,000 fire hydrant and did $5,600 worth of damage to another car. How much of the damage must Stan pay? So here's how I want you to do these problems. I want you to get the total of the damage. Let's see. He damaged $2,000 fire hydrant and did $5,600 worth of damage to another car. So $2,000 plus $5,600. This is all the damage that he's done. So we can add that pretty quickly, $7,600. So this is all the damage he's done. I'm going to go ahead and bring it over here. Now I'm going to do this every time, what Stan pays and what the insurance company pays. We kind of need to do this every time just so we have an understanding of the question. However, only one of these is going to be our answer, depending on the question. So be very careful when you're doing this in Canvas that you're reading the question, because you could have done the whole problem right, but then you just chose the wrong amount. We're looking for how much of the damage must Stan pay. So we're going to keep in mind that this is going to be our answer, not how much the insurance company pays. So here's where the understanding comes in. This is once again the total damage. What you want to say is, and actually I just realized the way I want to flip this, we can do it this way. That's fine. I was thinking about flipping it and having insurance in the left, but it's not a big deal. So what we need to realize is, again, what Stan is responsible for in this accident and what they are responsible for in this accident. Let's look at what he has. He has $25,000 worth of insurance. And again, the definition of that is the most the insurance company will pay. So Stan caused this much damage. Will the insurance company pay for all of it or only a portion? This is what you're asking yourself. The insurance company will pay $25,000 at most. So will they cover all that damage or only a part of it? They're going to cover all of it because the insurance is $25,000. So what ends up happening here is Stan doesn't have to pay for anything because, again, all of that is going to be covered because that's the max. So we have to kind of go back and keep referring to that, right? So our answer, how much of the damage must Stan pay? Stan's going to pay 0. Now again, $25,000 is the max the company will pay. They're not going to, the damage is only $7,600. They're not going to like throw $25,000 out if it's not required. So all of it is covered because this is less than $25,000. But again, just because he has $25,000 worth of insurance doesn't mean they're always going to pay $25,000 if they don't have to. Again, I have some people who are like, oh, $25,000 right here. That's the most they will pay. In this case, again, the insurance company is going to pay all of it. So how much of the damage must Stan pay? 0. If the question said, how much would the insurance company pay? That would be our answer. So again, just read these questions carefully. I'm always going to show both answers, but depending on the question, you need to answer the correct one. That was a lot of talking. Let's try this again and see if we're understanding how this works. So Bob has $25,000 worth of property damage liability insurance. This is, again, the max for the insurance company. I want you to go ahead and find the total damage that Bob has done. And then let's see if we can figure out from that damage how much Bob is going to have to pay and how much the insurance company is going to have to pay. Let's see if we can get this set up. So again, find the damage first. It tells you all the damage that he caused. It just went on a rampage, apparently. And then we'll see if we can break it down to what Bob and the insurance has to pay. Okay, so the damage he caused: $2,000 fire hydrant, $18,000 for a room to a house, and $5,600 worth of damage to their car. He just like, and that was what damage he caused. So off to the side here, this is 2,000 plus 18,000 plus 5,600. Let's see what this is. I'm too lazy to do this in the morning. 2,000 plus 18,000. Careful that you're adding these with the correct number of zeros. Okay, you should have gotten the total damage to be 25,600. So however you want to address this, it kind of depends on the situation. 25,000 is the most the insurance company will pay. So here's your thinking immediately. Will insurance cover all of this? Nope. They're only going to cover up to 25,000. That is, again, the most the insurance company will pay for property damage. So Bob has to pay the rest. We know how this breakdown works, guys, right? If I say this is 25,000, Bob has to pay the rest. So what's left over out of 25,600? What's left over for Bob to pay? 600. So your last step from here is just rereading the question and knowing which of these answers is going to go into Canvas when you do your assignment, yeah? Because again, I could have this exact same question phrased exactly this way, but instead I could ask, how much of the damage will the insurance company pay? And this would be our answer that would go into Canvas. But in this case, how much of the damage must Bob pay? $600. That's the answer that would go into Canvas. But again, like I said, just keep an eye out because it can change depending on what we ask for. We're always going to find both answers because we kind of need to know both answers to even get one of them. Okay, let's go ahead and keep trying this. So this one is going to be a little bit different because of what information is given to us. In this question, it said this person has this much worth of insurance. And so that vocabulary told us that is the most the insurance company will pay. Worth of insurance, max for the insurance company. But if you read here, this is a different vocabulary. It says, Peter has $1,000 deductible collision insurance. Let's see if we recall this. Who pays the deductible? You pay the deductible, right? When you get into a car accident, you do have a little bit of a portion that you have to pay sometimes if you have a deductible. In real life, you have a deductible and a maximum, but to keep these questions simple, they either only say there's a deductible and then we pretend there's no maximum that the insurance company would pay, or they say there's just a maximum and we pretend there's no deductible. In the real world, you would have both a deductible and the max the insurance company would pay. But here again, it's going to be one or the other. So again, you have to remember this. This is the only way to do these problems, is to know that deductible is what you pay. Or in this case, if you want to say it, you is Peter. If it says deductible, you pay the deductible. Insurance does not. But Peter backs his car into his garage and causes $4,300 worth of damage. So once again, we are still going to start with the damage here. And so he just causes $4,300, so we don't have to add anything together. But we are still going to split this up into what Peter pays and what the insurance company pays. Again, even aside from what that question is asking, we want to always do this so we have an understanding. Even if it's only asking for one and not the other, we want to know both answers. So we know one of these answers right away because we just labeled it based on the word deductible. Which one of these do we know right away? Because of the word deductible. Peter. It says $1,000 deductible, guaranteed. That's what you pay. You pay the deductible, and then insurance will kick in. Again, I told you guys that when I got into my car accident, I had to pay my deductible first before the insurance would pay for the rest of my damages. They'd be like, sorry, we can't get your car fixed until you pay the money for the deductible. That's why I put it on a credit card. So Peter paid his deductible, and then the insurance goes, okay, no biggie, we'll pay the rest now. So what is the rest of this damage that they would be paying? Well, subtract them, right? But hopefully we can see 4,300 minus 1,000. This is 3,300. So once more, after that, we always go back up and we read the question. How much will the insurance company have to pay? This is our answer that would go into Canvas. Again, guys, you're going to get frustrated if you try this assignment in Canvas and you technically have the right answer, but it's the wrong one they wanted. Like, again, you're not wrong if you put 1,000 for Peter. So read the question carefully. We do need to know both of these answers in order to understand the question, but only one of them is the one they want. So go ahead and try this next one. Be very careful. I'm going to say again, start with the damage. Then split it up into, this is now Morgan and insurance. And then read the question carefully and box which of the two answers we want. Okay, so she gets into an accident that causes $4,500 worth of damage. And then it goes, blah, 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 deductible. You pay the deductible. So immediately I can go down to Morgan here. Morgan pays $2,000 because that's the definition of deductible. And then the insurance is going to pay the rest. So hopefully you can see after subtracting those two, this is $2,500 for the insurance. And then you went back and you read the question, how much will she have to pay? You should have boxed the $2,000. So in this question, we could have actually stopped after figuring out that Morgan paid $2,000. But like I said, this exact same question could be asked, or at least the information would be the same. And instead, it could say, how much will the insurance company pay? So always find both answers and then just be very careful with what answer they actually want. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Okay, we got one more question type. I kind of want to do... Actually, we're going to pause here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of break this into two lessons, just because it's a lot. I'm going to break this assignment into two. So we're going to have this first part here, and then we're going to come back to talk about bodily injury, because we're going to have to deal with this thing. We wrote down what that was yesterday, but it gets confusing to have all of this together. So you're going to go ahead and do part one of this assignment, and then we're going to come back and talk about part two with this bodily injury insurance. It works a little differently. So one more thing before, just to emphasize one more time before you go try the assignment, read very carefully the phrasing. If it says worth of insurance, that's the most the insurance company will pay. If it says deductible, that's what you have to pay before insurance will do anything. So when you're doing the assignment, read them very, very carefully. Let me know if you want me to check though, because these ones are a little tricky.